and
Where are you, Joyce?
East Northport on Long Island.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let Milt in. Milt is here.
Oh,
Let Milt in.
hey, this is fun. I tried to get on early because I don't usually do this.
You know, and Kevin, Kelly's husband, Kevin, was on. There's Milt. Here we are.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Milton.
Hello,
Hey,
Milt.
Milt.
Hi, how are you?
How are
Good.
you?
Yeah, very good.
This is going to be new territory to all of us because there are quite a few people who had said that they were going to be coming on, and I don't know who's going to show up, but here's Steve Springer coming
There's going to
now.
be a lot of people.
Yeah,
All
could
right.
be.
Hello, Steve.
Not yet. He's connecting.
All
There he is. Hey, Steve. It's still connecting. How you feeling, Milt? Milt, how are you feeling?
right, I can't complain. What good does it do?
No. Have you been out? Have you been out at all? How's the city?
I've been inside for 2 months.
Wow.
You haven't been
I
out
don't
at
go
all.
outside where they spit and they hit you and do various things because we're like a country here, the size, the
That's right.
population. And some people are very dangerous out there.
Isn't that awful?
I know,
I'm
so I don't
sorry.
go outside.
Good to see you, Steve.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Steve.
How are you?
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Milt.
Steve, do you recognize Joyce? Joyce, that's Steve Springer.
I don't see anyone. I only see you.
Oh, are you gotta flip your screen, flip it to the left, and then you'll see up to 4
Oh.
people if you're on your cell phone.
Wait a minute now. Hold on a minute. Can you show me? Nicole? She wants me to flip my screen.
Are you on your cell?
Why are you flipping the screen?
Because she said she could only see one person at a time. No, not to flip it to the other side.
Oh, there we go.
There you
Oh.
go.
Thank you. Oh, this is fun. We have Teams meetings, but we're not allowed to go on Zoom because it's not HIPAA compliant, so I'm not allowed to use this. This is my first time. How you doing, Steve?
Good. How are you?
Okay. I wasn't supposed to be on because I was having a surprise party for my son for his 30th
Dad, I
birthday,
gotta go on mute. Sorry.
but I had to cancel it because it said thunderstorms. And after watching everything on television that happened in Louisiana, I didn't want to take a chance. And now it's absolutely gorgeous out.
Yeah,
Isn't
you
that
never
always-
know.
Couldn't predict.
Isn't that always the way?
I couldn't predict it. And, it was raining today, but who would have expected that it would have gotten this beautiful at this hour?
Where are
Anyway.
you, Joyce? Are you still in Long Island?
Yes. Where are you?
Florida.
Florida? What part of Florida?
I live in Coral Springs, Florida, South Florida.
Oh, nice.
We've been here in another couple of days. We've been here 18 years.
Oh, my goodness. 18 years. Wow.
Yeah, it's a while.
No, I've never left the state. I'm still here. I left New York City, Milt.
I see.
Yeah. I'm not alone. I know a lot of people did. Terrible.
I know it was your son's birthday, and I didn't, quite honestly, expect you to be here except to pop in for a minute. But
No, he lives in
with
Manhattan.
with the weather, as you said, there's no way that you can predict, because what's happening on one part of the island doesn't have to be happening on another part of the island.
Right, right. No, he lives in Manhattan. He was coming here, and it's actually not the day of his birthday. We were surprising him because we don't see him very often because he works 7 days a week. And
Oh.
we sent him an invitation to a wedding celebration outdoors on the water.
Oh,
So my girlfriend, whose daughter was getting married, make believe, had to send a message saying it was tomorrow instead of today, because the restaurant couldn't accommodate only 20 people at the wedding.
oh, oh.
And we're very close friends, so. Kevin,
John, how are you?
We've got some other people joining us. Here's
Hey.
Kevin and Kelly are here. Kelly was, I believe, wasn't it the second year of MT, Kelly?
76, I graduated.
76, yes. And Joyce is here from 75, and Steve is here from 75, and Sue,
Hey.
it was 76, wasn't it, Sue?
Yes.
Yeah, and John, I was 76 and 77.
That's right, you were. Thank you.
2 years, right, right.
Hi,
Hi, Kelly.
Kevin.
I just wanted to meet all the people who radicalized my wife. There you are. I mean, you did it for a year. I've had to live with it for 42 years.
I'm not sure who radicalized who.
Oh, yeah. She's a troublemaker from way back.
Well, it's great to see, it's great to see everybody. It's just so wonderful.
Wait, I missed wait, Kelly, you're Kelly?
Kelly Howe.
Yes, it is.
Hi. Okay. I remember you.
And Sue, what's your last name?
Demasi.
Okay.
You knew me as
And Sue, give your maiden name, because that way,
yeah.
Rubenstein. It's Sue Rubenstein. When you knew.
Oh, okay, sure. Yes, I recognize Rubenstein.
And my husband knows your brother, which is funny. I think it's your
Oh,
brother.
which one of my brothers?
He's an art teacher, maybe?
Come, sit here.
My brother?
I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
All her brothers are con artists.
I had 5 brothers, but it's,
Yeah, you're in the screen. They got to be able to see you.
I had
Yeah.
5 brothers, but none of them
Get the
were
whole picture.
an artist.
How about teacher? Was one of them a teacher?
Hi, Sue. My dad was a teacher.
Well, I might look people up. Which
I've just been joined by Ellen. Ellen is here with me now.
Hi, Sue. Hi,
I
Ellen.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi, Milk.
Steve.
Kelly.
Uh-huh.
Kevin.
Hi,
Hi, Ellen.
Kelly.
Hello.
Joyce. I'm not sure we met, but we're meeting here.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hey, John.
I've heard the name Milt Seiler many times over the years.
there he is.
There he is in the flesh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Hey,
Steve.
John.
Hi.
Hey,
Yes,
John.
yes.
I just wanted to say how amazing this is. Two things I wanted to say. First of all, Joyce and I did Oklahoma together in 1975. And
That's
Kelly,
right.
Kelly was 76's valedictorian, and I followed her in 77.
Wow.
So this is amazing.
Oh, yeah, smart
You forgot to
classes.
tell your husband?
Hello, Mike. Michael Bloom has joined us.
Hi, Mike.
Michael is here.
Where's Michael? Oh,
What class was Michael?
What class were you in, Michael?
Mike was a staff member starting, I think, in 77.
Oh,
He was
okay.
with us for a couple of years.
Okay, that's after I
And
left.
he'll tell you about himself in a couple of minutes. I want to ask if anybody else can answer this question. Who do you think is waiting for us to let them in from the Atlanta team? Oh, I'll bet you that's Ken Meek, rather. Not Ken Meek, Ken
Ken Reed? Is that Ken Reed?
Yes, can you read? Ken, I'll bet that's who that is.
John,
And here comes Lisa Leffler, too.
Since I last spoke to you, John, Ken Reed sent me an email.
Wonderful.
And I returned his email because I was on vacation this week and I had like 600 emails to catch up on. So I was just sitting there reading some emails and I saw an email from him. So I said, I would love to speak with you. And I gave him my number.
Wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, there's a couple of other folks joining us now.
Is Camille on?
I'm clicking on, I'm trying to click on Michael Ross, who's coming in to join us.
I'll be right back.
Admit all, remove.
Now there's Lisa Loeffler.
There's Mike.
There's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Mike Bloom?
Mike Bloom and Mike Ross.
Yeah.
Mike Ross.
Maybe he's on mute.
When I get my ancestry back, I'll let you know if we're related.
Because,
Yes, my grandmother was Bloom.
yes.
That's funny.
No, he already knows
Yeah,
about
okay.
Yeah, you never know these days.
that.
Does anybody feel like I feel like I'm like lifting my head up to talk to everyone. Maybe this is better. I don't know.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have to figure why I can't see myself, but we'll figure that out.
Is this Ken?
Yes, sir, it is.
Oh, Ken.
Wow. Kenny Reed.
Kenny Reed.
How's everyone doing?
Good. I can't wait to see you.
I'm trying to figure out why my video's not start video. Let me see if that will work.
Lisa, you're sitting there very quietly waiting to be acknowledged. I've seen you. I wanted to say hello, but I'm very happy that you've joined us.
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful to see you.
John, I'm going to jump off and jump back in to see if that will work.
Okay. All right, Ken.
Yeah.
So is this a regular thing or is this the official yearly thing?
Well, there was a time when we would have annual reunions, and our virus has taken care of that. So this is the first, this was the first year in, what is it, Milt, over 21 years, we had an annual
21 years at
reunion
least,
every
yes.
year. And this is the first year that we have not. But we decided, because we had people wanting to push the envelope and get together anyway, and some of us are saying we're not ready for that yet because we don't believe that it's safe to get together yet. And we thought we could Zoom it and see how that goes. So this is an act in process, I guess you could say. We're trying to see how it goes.
Right.
Because I know, and as do all of you, who have, each of you have wonderful stories of your own that you could share of what has happened in your life and lives since we last saw one another. And since we all know that the reason that MT was started in the first place is because there was, on our part, certainly, and on a great many students who joined us, a great deal of dissatisfaction with what education in the public sphere was providing for our students. And when people used to ask me, what was it like being a teacher there? I used to describe it this way. I'd say it was like, for me, it was like dying and going to teacher heaven because you were free. to
Yeah.
teach whatever you wanted to teach. And you didn't have the normal problems that students had, I mean, the teachers had. You had totally different kinds of issues. But I have never forgotten what it felt like to be there. And I sometimes think that if teachers are all trying to do the same thing, and it is to make a difference in the lives of their students, I think we made a great difference. But I can't speak for anyone here. I would just say, I know from experience of talking with some of you that your experience has been unsurpassed by any stories I have ever heard from any other group of students ever. And Mike Bloom, who was with us for a couple of years, has
Right.
his own story to tell that is unlike anyone else in this group. And he has been around the world and has managed, well, he has done things in mainland China that no one in this group has done. So I'm going to be quiet now and just ask people who are here, and I'm going to try to admit people as soon as I see them waiting to be acknowledged, to jump in. Here's Kathy Martinez now. She's coming in, so I'm going to admit her right now.
Hey, John, I hope that everyone will also let us know if they were student or staff, because some of us could be either, and also what years they were at Maslow-Toffler.
Thank you. That's a great idea, Mike. Okay.
Good.
So anyway, whoever wants to just speak, by all means, introduce yourselves and tell us a little something about when we were together, and something about your life such as it is today compared to what it might have been when we knew one another.
I'll go. I was a student in 78 and 79. And I really enjoyed it. It was an amazing experience. The thing that I loved the most, though, were the weekly book clubs at Milt's house. They were really,
Yeah.
it was a really
I
great,
enjoyed them too.
yeah, good group of books to read, very relevant now. Brave New World, 1984.
Oh, yes, right.
And I live in Berkeley, California. I've been here in California since 1992. I work now for Google. I have a partner, and we have a 13-year-old.
Very good.
Lisa,
John,
thank
you
you.
have a ball of yarn that you throw to people when it's time, you know?
Yes. I think it was Albert Einstein who said, in response to somebody who once said to him that experience is the best teacher. And I can recall he once said, no, experience is the only teacher. And I think all our experience, all our lessons were required to participate from an experiential level. We had experiences on every class or every lesson that we ran at the school. And I think that's one of the things that made us very different.
Yeah. You remember I had a class and I asked the people to share, and some of them were not sharing. So I got up and left the classroom. I said, and I'm not sharing. I left the classroom. They began to share.
That's
you
funny.
couldn't do that in a regular school.
No, you could not.
We were never expected, though, to share, so it was very strange for us to be asked to do that.
Of course.
And hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, not easy. No.
Not easy. Yeah.
I want to tell you a story I haven't shared, but I think points out the basis of our school. I was in a bar in Philadelphia, and I was having a drink called the Cosmopolitan. Next to my right was a gentleman who looked at me and said, "What are you drinking?" And I said, "A Cosmopolitan." He went, "Oh, dear, that's..." I said, "Do you have a problem with your masculinity?" So he looks at me and doesn't know what to do. Sitting to my left was the top star, professional star of the Philadelphia basketball players. He looked at me and he said, "Man, what are you drinking?" And I said, "A Cosmopolitan." He said to the bartender, "Give me one." And I was telling this story to Dolores Puccio at the bar at one of our gatherings here. And as I'm telling her this story, guess what the bartender does to us? He puts the Cosmopolitan in front of her, and he puts the beer in front of me. I said, that's exactly what I'm talking about. We don't grow and become aware because others push us down. And that's what's happened. You can't grow unless you get into yourself, the true nature of yourself. And so I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Milt.
Thank you.
Hey,
Wonderful.
Ross, I wanted to say one of the things that you said last time we got together. You shared an awareness that you had that none of the issues that are troubling our culture and our society today were ever controversial issues for us as a school community. Because what you said, I think, rang so true. We didn't focus on the things that made us different, picking up on what Milt just said. We focused on the things that we had in common. And for that reason, we transcended all these other individual peculiarities that individuals have. And they were never issues for us. And I see Ken Reed has joined us, and Patrick Brennan is with us now.
Yeah, how you doing?
Hi, good to see you, Pat.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed your last week.
Well, glad to have you tonight. Glad.
Yeah.
Kenny Reed.
Hey. It's good to see you guys.
Same
Wow.
How was
Excuse me,
everybody?
Dad, you have to let Camille in.
Yes, I don't. Oh, she said, I didn't
Camille?
know who that was. She says she's the boss.
Yeah.
There she
It's
is.
Camille. It's Camille.
You got some reading material there.
Yeah.
Just a few things to catch up on.
Hi.
Now I don't see him. Does everyone see him?
I don't see her, no.
Oh,
You have
I
to
thought it was
slide
me.
your phone to the side so you can keep seeing everybody's face.
Oh, okay.
You guys see? Oh wait, let me
Uh-oh. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, there you go. Oh, is that Ken? Oh my God, I lost him.
know what's happening with this thing. All right.
There
Hey,
you go.
hey, Reed.
It's very temperamental.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kenny, can you hear me?
Kathy?
Don't see Camille or Ken.
Good to see you, Milt. Wow.
Happy birthday, John.
Thank you. Thank you. We had that on the earlier this month, but thank you for remembering.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sure.
Are you able to see me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can see you, Camille.
Hi, John.
Hi.
I can't see her.
And
Where is
Kathy,
she?
I can barely see you.
I can see you, Milt. How are you?
I'm in New York.
I
can't
Kathy,
see
we need a
you.
little light on your face. Add some light to your countenance.
Camille, wave so Milt can see you. Wave your hands in the air.
There we are.
No,
I can see. Oh, wave mine?
she's not coming through with me. I don't know why. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Do you have it on gallery view, Milt?
I don't know what I have it on.
That's all right. I can see you.
You know, I'm legally blind.
I know. I can see you. I'm so glad.
Most people don't realize that.
This is kind
So
of
I
hard
can
not
see
to
you
be able to.
plainly, but I can't do anything in small print.
Kind of
Yeah,
hard
me
not to be
either.
able to hug all you
But I
guys.
can't see you now. Oh, why doesn't she
Eddie,
Ken,
come
I
can
in?
you
just,
see me?
I think I got an email from you. I think that was when you were struggling to get on. So I'm glad you made it on. I'm Kathy, I'm very happy to see you. Glad you could make it on. And we don't know who's going to be showing up, but anyone who would like to introduce themselves and say a little bit of something either about your memory of what you experienced with all of us, or perhaps anything that comes to mind, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, I think I'll introduce myself. My name's Michael Bloom. I was at Maslow-Toffler, I think, from 79 to about 82 as a facilitator. And prior to being at Maslow-Toffler, I taught inner city ghetto high school in Brooklyn. Actually, I left electrical engineering to become a teacher, became a teacher, worked in an alternative school prior to MT as kind of head teacher at one point. And after I left Maslow-Toffler, I became a co-op ed coordinator at LaGuardia Community College and taught electronics to high schoolers. And then I became a technical journalist. I wrote and published many articles about technology nationally. And then about nearly 40 years ago, I started a business manufacturing widgets in mainland China. I've been to China back and forth about 100 times. And I'm still doing that and producing things and meeting people very interested in geopolitics. Maslow was an amazing experience to me. I was a young guy. I think I was probably in my sort of early 30s. So I'm perhaps a little older than some of the students, but not a lot. And John was my role model as far as being a teacher at that point. And I remember some of the weekend things we did. We went to the Poconos, to what was then called the Pocono Environmental Education Center. And every day was kind of different. The last alternative school I taught in was inside a kind of a defrocked synagogue. So it was from there to Maslow-Toffler, which was different in certain ways. And I enjoyed every bit of every day. I remember the humor that went back and forth. The kids were funny, the staff was funny. We got to teach what we wanted that we found meaningful. And I think the students benefited tremendously. So although I didn't remain an educator, in a way I still do education. I teach people about things like China and stamp collecting, one of my other hobbies, and geopolitics. I used to teach about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict from the Israeli perspective, and still very involved in life and volunteering and singing. And that's who I am today, and partially at least due to Maslow-Toffler. So thank you to staff, thank you to teachers, and thank you to students.
Michael, thank you for saying what you did. I think the truth of the matter is that there is not a person that's in front of me on this screen that is not in some way in their life a teacher. And some of you know full well what I'm talking about, because there are people that I have met that would be some of the finest teachers had they been able to pursue that career.
Yeah.
But because of the closed-mindedness of some of the people that were the gatekeepers.
Yes.
Yep, the powers that be.
Yeah.
Yes, that could not get in.
Yeah.
But Camille has been teaching in her role with the IRS
Oh, you're not kidding.
ever since she got there.
They love me. They love me. I'm working from home now. I'm working virtually.
Hey, by the way, everyone, greetings from the
They
state of
love
Oregon.
you, but we lost what was a great teacher.
We
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me to hear you guys say that, because, you know, for a long time, I was really starting to believe what they were telling me, you know, so it was difficult.
Yes.
But, yeah, but I'm doing it still on the IRS, and now I'm from home, so they can't even tell me I'm on too long. I spend so much time on the phone with them, educating them. Like my phone time is off the charts. But I don't care. I really don't care. If I have to do my job, I'm going to teach. That's all.
Excellent.
Oh, I wish I could see you on this.
I know. I wish I could hug you guys. It's very hard not to be able to hug you. You know what a hugger I am.
Maybe I could take
Right.
a picture. Maybe I could take a picture and send it to Milt.
Oh, I put
Right.
my money in the back of the phone too. Hello, Joyce.
Hey, I would really like to share now, John, if that's all right.
You sure is, Mike. You're more than welcome.
That's Kenny.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Kenny. That's Kenny Reed.
Oh,
Has a notice popped up yet about the time?
Yes.
What does it say? How many more minutes?
They said they're giving us a gift. I don't know what that means.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, great.
It said
Well,
the
I
post
guess
extended.
Oh, I couldn't read it. Good.
Ken,
I
go ahead.
I was telling my wife today. I said I really wanted to share my gratefulness for having the opportunity and privilege to, and I guess it was just the time and the times that we were in the mid 70s. Just the fortunate opportunity to be part of Maslow-Toffler from the very beginning.
Right.
Yeah, outside of Milt and John and the rest of our facilitators getting together, and Kenny and Johanna getting together and presenting this thing with Conrad, I guess, to the board. And I was probably in the next stage where we had to go around during the summer. I guess that summer and recruiting people to join us.
Yes.
I remember we needed to have 80 students. I think it was a ratio of 20 to 1, and we needed to have 80 students. So I remember going around with Stephen Hodgelik and Doug Knox and Wayne Boynton and just a number of other people, just trying to recruit students for the school so that we could have 80 to start. And then we got to participate in the hiring of some of the other staff that came on. And yeah, that was fun. I mean, everything, and it's just carried on my whole life. I've been a corporate recruiter. I've been I'm a recruiter in the Marine Corps. I've been working in human development and been doing pastoral care. And now I'm a hospice chaplain. I provide care to people that are at end of life and help them in their decision-making processes from a spiritual standpoint. And but I've had so many experiences in my lifetime. You know, I've done so many different things. And it's just that I think having the Maslow-Toffler experience, first of all, allowed me to learn how to learn, because I had gone to school for 11 years and really struggled. And I always had the ability, but really struggled. And I think John saw something in me. I know he did. And he was one of the people that recruited me for the Maslow-Toffler experiment experience, because that first year was really an experiment. And it was kind of, we'll see if they fall on their face. But I think speaking for all that were involved, all the students that were involved, we wanted to make sure that it happened. We wanted to make sure that it was a success. And we were so proud of the things that we accomplished in just that short time. So I can't thank you guys enough. I can't, you know, I see Joyce is on, and I see the amazing things she's done in her life. And we have some similar paths, maybe not similar even too, but we're doing some of the same kind of work. And I just want to thank you for that opportunity. I show my kids, I show my grandkids, I take them out to the photo album. I said, there's granddad. Look, oh, you used to have a lot of hair. Yeah, I did. I had a lot of hair. And they love it. But I think,
Kenny,
yes.
I have one quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you still have that beautiful singing voice?
Yes, in fact,
Hello.
I humbly say that I use it in my work almost every day.
Wow.
I sing to patients that are at end of life, different songs, or share different songs, and not necessarily religious standpoint, but anything that they like. And if I could sing it or go and learn how to sing it, I will come back and sing it to them. So yes, sir,
Beautiful
I do.
commitment.
I want to say something, Kenny. I want to thank you so much. I was in second year, and if it wasn't for you guys, I would never have had this in my life. And I really just want to thank you so much for that, because it made my life what it is today. And I can so appreciate going out there and doing some of that recruiting, because I did do that in the second year. You know, we still were trying to do that. We wanted to make sure it continued. But thank you so much. And Joyce, were you in the first year also?
Yes, she was.
Oh, well,
Yes.
thank you as well.
John?
Stephen, I love you. I want to give you a kiss right now, Stephen.
Yeah,
You guys are old guys, man. The first years, the old ones.
Well,
you
we
know,
were
if I
second
could
year.
just echo what Kenny is saying, is that when I was thinking about, you know, how did Maslow-Toffler School of Futuristic Education change my life, right? So, you know the thing, I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at, so I don't know if I should look at this group or the other group. Does it matter?
No.
Oh, Heather, can anyone see me? I don't know.
Yes.
We can all
Yeah.
see you.
Upon reflection, I was thinking about what could I really say to everyone about what changed my life. And I think what happened was during the experience of the experiential education and the interaction and communication with the facilitators as well as the students, I think that as a person, I gained confidence in who I really was during that time. And what it helped me is not to be afraid of speaking up throughout my life. And so in doing that, I was courageous in talking to, I'm a registered nurse, but I was courageous in talking to people that were dying. And I wasn't afraid to say to them, is there anything you want to say to your loved one? I felt so privileged that I had something that I could offer them. And I started my career working with patients that always seemed to be dying on the oncology unit that I was working on. And then I spent the rest of my career in caring for patients and families. And now I work as an administrator, teaching, educating, mentoring others, and working with evidence-based practice of, you know, policies and procedures and stuff like that. But I think that when I really think about all the books that I read, I probably read more books in 1 year that I had read in all of the years that I had gone to school, because I wasn't afraid of learning, like Ken said, and I was taking in all the information and I was accepted. I was accepted. Whatever I said to Milt, whatever I said to Ken, whatever I said to John or Johanna, they accepted me. It was okay. And I think I spent the rest of my life feeling that whatever happened, I was accepted. And I also even would go back to say that I wasn't necessarily even feeling that from my own parents.
Thank
so,
you. Thank you for that.
Very nice.
Thank you for
Can I say something? I did not go to Maslow-Toffler, but I know a lot of your names. My wife, Kelly Howe. And I've heard about you all for many, many, many years. And I know what you all did for her. And you were 76, and we met. I was from New Jersey, and then we met in 78 and moved to Colorado. And we're talking now from Central Texas. It's about 6 degrees here. We became part of an intentional Christian community. We're still there, and there's a few people in Manhattan. I was in graduate school. Kelly was a freshman at NYU, and we met, married, picked up and left New York in 78 and live out Colorado, Texas, all over. We have 7 children,
Wow.
16 grandchildren.
Now, you said you were 76? Kelly was 76?
Yes, she was.
So we were, and Stephen, we were 76. Why don't
Can I jump in and just say that 76, you're still kids.
Hi.
I'm sorry I came aboard late, but I think that in my retirement community, if everybody goes on the computer after dinner, then the ability to get on is very, very difficult. I've been sitting here since 5 of or more, before 5 of 7, observing the instructions as I usually did. And I sat here in all frustration, waiting for this machine to do its thing. I eventually turned it off, restarted it, and somewhere in its hidden reserve, it came alive and let me come aboard. I welcome the opportunity. And I listen with great care and regard for those who speak and tell us about their experiences in that wonderful place where we all were able to address one another by our first names and, and hold hands in that circle. And don't forget the hugs, Conrad. There were a lot of hugs.
Right.
So I hope you welcome me aboard.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hey, John.
I don't see these people.
Hey, John.
Aw.
John.
Where are you now, Conrad?
Ma'am?
Where are you, Conrad?
I'm in Audubon, Pennsylvania, which is substantially, I think, about 17 miles outside of Philadelphia.
Wow.
And
that's great.
I think most of you know I lost my wife in 2018, so I'm very much a very lonely bachelor. And, I'm doing all right. In fact, what I've done of late is to get out my Spanish-English dictionary and begin to refresh my Spanish, because most of the, many of the employees here in this retirement community are from Mexico. And I think they appreciate the fact that I stumble around in Spanish. They sometimes are gracious enough to correct me. So we've established a relationship, and that's always a Conrad,
that's good.
Conrad, the last time we were together, somebody said, "You look exactly the way you did," and I remember you.
He really looks
That was me.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'll take these off, and you can then observe the ravages of time. No ravages.
No. I would recognize you if I saw you in the street. That's how much you look like I remembered you to look.
Totally true.
Hey, John.
Susan, oh my God, Sue, I can't believe it. Like, you're so close, but you're not close. I can't stand it. I want to hug you right now.
John.
I'm ready. Yes. I'm ready.
I'd like to go.
I live on a good hug.
Oh my gosh. And John and Mel, you guys all look so fantastic.
Well,
I don't know anybody else that still talks to their teachers from so many years ago. It's just so amazing to me.
I want to say something I wanted to say something to Ken, talking about the music. Ken, I've heard it said that he who sings prays twice. And I think that is something that I have found very true time and time again. There's not time for all those stories now, but I have stayed with my music, and it has given me much more than I have given to it. It is it is a constant source of inspiration to me as well. So I know how it's a cycle or a circle, and it comes back to you. So to hear so many of you speak about ministering to the dying and the honor of being with people at the end of life who are expressing what they wish they had known when they were a lot younger so they could have lived more, inspires me that we must have done a lot of good things for so many people like you to come away with that kind of wisdom as kids.
Right.
And have been pouring it back into life, into the people that you've met. It just fills me with warmth and love to think of what you have done with your lives. I'm honored to have known each and every one of you. Each of you has been so special in my mind for your accomplishments and for your faith in your fellow man. I'm guilty for talking because I'd much rather be listening than talking.
It's facilitating, you know.
We like
Thank you,
Yeah.
Patrick.
He's doing what he does best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Can
So,
I just want to introduce Patrick.
yeah.
He was the only student in the history of the school.
That's me.
His family paid tuition to send him to the school. He came from another district.
Wow.
And he should never have been allowed, but for the fact that our superintendent and our board opened their hearts and really skirted what was routine practice, allowed him to commute. He got from Stony Brook, I believe it was Stony Brook, wasn't it?
Actually, it's Port Jefferson.
Port Jefferson.
Yeah.
To every day to come to school in Brentwood. And by the way, they changed the rules after that year because community people found out that we were bringing in people from another school district. We should be concentrated on people from Brentwood. And so they put an end to the practice. Patrick, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so actually the first person I met there was Conrad Follansby. Do you remember me?
Oh. Oh, if I said yes, I'd be a liar.
We had come there, before school started and toured it, and he was the only one there at that time. Teachers were obviously, still on vacation, I guess. He was doing the administrator gets no time off. So, anyway, we came into tour in late August, and I had met you first. My stepdad and me came, so. And it was, it saved my school experience definitely coming to Maslow-Toffler, because not that I was a bad student, I just couldn't stand the regular school system at that time and was really not on a good trajectory. So it definitely was a savior for me for my education, and then to be in communities, which I had been in before. It just reinforced everything, and I can glean something from what everybody has said about the experience. But I became a special education teacher. It's like 26 years. I'm getting ready to retire soon. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. So, and I fooled around. I worked in residential programs for a while. I was a rehab counselor for a bit, and then I decided to go into teaching. So. Definitely all of my experiences at Maslow has made me a great teacher. And, I've had my little issues and conflicts too, and speaking out. Person says that they can speak out better and they're not afraid. That's definitely a lot of our community Congress meetings, just to share, to have no fear. And if I'm working for the betterment of my students and their families who I serve, there is no fear. But a lot of that conflict went away with, whatever, administration. I wanted to run my class. I mean, it's still, I create environments in special education, for open learning, trusting. Even I work with autistic and developmentally disabled kids, but it's the same principles, you know.
Yep.
Maybe, you know, intellectually they can't grasp certain concepts, but they respond to when someone creates an environment of trust, loving, acceptance, all those principles that we held true
Yes.
when we went to school there. I bring it there every day. I taught this summer. We went back into the building. We were off for like 4 months teaching virtually, and then, you know, we went back into the building. I have 12 students in a big area, so it was a little trying of a time, but it went actually very well. But
Patrick, did you know that Conrad was actually principal not just of Maslow-Toffler, but he was also principal for special ed in the same building.
Yeah.
When I first met Conrad, I was actually special ed counselor, guidance counselor for 6 months, and I
yeah, it was
enjoyed
like it was like at the other end of the building, right
That was the
downstairs.
BOCES part. That was the BOCES part of the building. They were.
That was a yeah. I worked for BOCES, so that was a BOCES program, huh? Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I didn't know that.
I worked for BOCES. I worked for BOCES also. I taught electronics at BOCES too in Islip.
Okay.
That's why they used to say we were a special ed school, because of that was in the same building with us. And of course,
okay.
we were all freaks, you know, if we went there. But
yeah, right.
that was the best
The
kind
misfits,
of place I
right?
ever knew.
So it kind of gave me my renew on education, like the whole experience at Maslow, the year, and all the people I met there. I mean, I'm not in touch with maybe a few people, but, you know, and I was a little bit sad, but, you know, I could have searched it out myself that, you know, these reunions were going on for so long, and I didn't know. I was working with a woman, and she was in my summer school class like 3 years ago. She was from Brentwood, and one of her friends, she's a little bit older than me. One of her friends went to Maslow, and it just came out. And she's like, yeah, you know, that school where they sat on the floor and smoked cigarettes. I said, no. It was way more than that. Let me share a few things with you.
Isn't that the God's honest truth? That's what we hear all the time.
Yeah.
That's all they know.
But I said, let me just educate you a little bit on what was going on there.
Exactly.
It was much more than that. And she, you know,
So much more.
she was open to listening and hearing and all that. So one of the things that Ken had asked me last year when we left the reunion is he was recording was, you know, tell me one, you know, great experience from there. And there's many. I could spend hours really, but you know, and I just read that John Lennon's, the guy that killed John Lennon was 11th time up for parole, and he was denied. So that was the experience I told him, is when John Lennon was shot. That was 1980, December. And we couldn't wait to get to school because we knew that what was going to be there, all that support. And we had a community meeting right away. I think it was even on a Friday, but right away, the teachers, we wanted to go to school. Whereas that in this day and age, like
Exactly.
Patrick, I don't mean to interrupt, but Dad, Milt knocked himself off, so just keep watching your participants because you're going to have to let him back in again.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you. I'm going to let him in right now. Thank you for calling that to my attention. And Milt is coming back, and so is Vita and Tori.
Yeah, you gotta keep an eye on your participants.
Thank you.
Goodbye, folks. I have a chocolate eclair waiting for me.
Oh boy.
Bye.
Bye. Nice to see you, Mr. Followsby.
Thank you.
Goodness, I haven't seen Vita in 40 some odd years. Hi, Vita.
Hi, how are you? It took a long time for you to answer.
Oh, my Lord.
You look the same.
Sorry.
You have not changed. You look exactly the same.
He looks the same.
You look
Exactly the same. I would recognize you anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Tori, I haven't seen your face. Last time I saw you, you were so little. You were so little. I used to babysit
I'm going to be 49.
Oh my God.
Feed and Tori.
Tori was a baby. She was a little thing.
She was a
I didn't expect to see you. Great.
We made it.
Hey, Vita.
Hi. Oh my gosh, there's Conrad
Lovely,
too.
lovely, lovely. It's so nice to see all
So,
of you.
is
You
he?
remember some of them? Look,
Oh, I like that.
there's Milt.
Yeah, are you going to wipe us out here?
Who's the principal?
Conrad, I get your Christmas card every year.
You remember the
They look familiar. Well, you didn't get it last year or the year before because
who is the principal?
of
He's in Pennsylvania.
the trauma of losing my Betty really dug in, and
I'm sure.
I'm so sorry.
it's been, we had 67 good years.
Oh my God.
That's great.
And when you have that much time in another person's life,
That's a part of you. That's
yeah.
a part of you.
But I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm trying to be productive.
You'd be happy to know we're still growing tomatoes.
Well, I do. I have them on the porch here. I can't go along without growing something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's good to see you, Milt.
That's good.
I can't believe.
Oh, good to
how
see
you
you.
look the same. I can't believe how you look the same, Vita. I'm like in astonishment here. It's amazing.
Well,
look at Bill.
that's good.
He looks the same too. You all look the same. I can only hope and pray that when I'm your age that I can say that I look the same. I can't even imagine. I can't.
I'm not used to Zoom so much, so who's speaking right now?
This is Camille.
Well, I recognize you. I just couldn't tell whose lips were moving.
I know. Well,
You can tell
oh my God. This is amazing. Even in all the reunions with the years that we've had, we haven't seen you. This is the first time. And what do we have? 22 years of reunions. And this is the first time that we're actually seeing you at a reunion.
Well, we don't leave the state that we're living in.
You know what it is? When John and Stephen and I put this together in the beginning, when we wanted to start having them, this is what we wanted, right, John? We wanted to get people to come. And
That's true.
talk about why things happen for a reason. Look at what this did. This terrible, terrible thing that we're going through right now has enabled me to see people that I didn't even know before. And I'm so touched and taken aback by the emotion of it. I really am. It's just wonderful.
Hey, Camille.
Where are you living?
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm good, but I wanted to say in connection to what you just said, first of all, I have to say hello to Vita and Tori.
Oh my God.
Hello,
Hello,
Tori.
Steve.
How are you? I wanted to say, because it also answers Lisa's question, and I think it kind of connects all the dots. Joyce and Kenny and Lenny Marsh and Ona and Karen, those were the original people that started this. And I was 15 when I first walked into that building, and it changed my life. As you all know, this is so important to me. And that's why I said to John a couple months ago, I said, John, I've been flying in for the last 6 years straight because it was so important to me to see everybody and to see, like you said, Camille, to see Vita and Conrad.
Oh my God.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
But the most important thing was, I said to John, I can't survive if we don't have something. So when I said to him, we got to do this,
Yep.
let's try to do a Zoom thing. And the fact that John and his daughter Heather had took it this far, and to see everybody, like you said, some for the first time in 40 years.
I know.
Is
It's amazing.
absolutely incredible.
It is
And
incredible.
it touches my heart that I can see you, everybody. But I wanted to say to Kenny and to Joyce, and of course to Conrad and Vita and Milt and Kenny and Joanne, and without these people, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so it's just incredible. This is amazing. And like you said, to take a moment in our lives that is so, excuse my language, but shitty, and to be able to touch everybody this way is just incredible.
It is
just
incredible. I can't
And
believe
Peter, I just wanted to tell you, you taught me how to paint, and that painting still exists.
So glad.
Oh my God.
It still exists. And I talk about us every day in my job. And as John knows and Milt knows, I talk every day about Maslow, and I share my story to the parents that I meet. And they said, why doesn't that place exist? And I said,
that was a good question.
Every year I had to come back, even after I left, after I graduated, and fight the board and yell and scream so that we could keep it open another year. And then finally, after, I guess it was 9 years, John, we lost that battle. But the truth is, I said, the reason why places like this don't exist that should exist is because, unsadly, as Kenny said earlier, we all learned how to deal with change and not be intimidated and not be afraid to speak and not be afraid to adjust and so forth. And society still can't deal with change, still can't address change, but yet all of us that came through those doors can, and that just made us all better people, and the people that we touch and deal with make them better people. So again, I can't say enough. It's so great because I probably met every single person on this phone tonight at some point because I was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I love it all, and it's great to see everybody.
I just love how it's evolved. I love how it's evolved through everything. It really has. It's just so wonderful. You guys, I love you guys so much.
Hey, I want to say the first time I walked into the building I was in 11th grade, and a bus brought us from the high school. And when I walked in, there was poetry all over the walls, and there was music. There were, people doing music in the hallways, and I'm like, oh, this is like a place I can be. Like, people like poetry, and I could fit in a place like this. And it taught I think the biggest thing I learned is that I started looking for people like that in my life. I realized those are the people that I meshed with. Those are the people that were good for me, creative, open. So that part of it was just great. The music, the poet, how cool is that, as opposed to the way that our regular high school was. And then when I did teach, I taught for a long time. I just retired. Yay. Very yay. And I tried to bring a lot of those things into my classroom. Like, sometimes the students would look at me like I was crazy. I'm like, okay, we're putting the chairs in a circle. And they're like, oh, you can't do that. And that was right. It was fun. I would have sat on the floor if there was room, but, so little things like that. But most importantly, knowing that there were other freaks out there, that we really weren't freaks.
Right.
And that it was good for me to look for those people, because those are the people that I don't know, that I need the most, and that, I work best with, I guess. And I find my place with those people. So that's the biggest thing I learned, I think. And I did try to bring it into, mostly when I taught, I tried to bring those things that I learned, even little things like using my first name. Sure, that's my name. What's the big deal? Just all sorts of things that I can't even remember right now. But that part, walking in and seeing the poetry was like, wow, hanging up on the walls. That was cool. So, thank you.
Teach.
Listen, I'm afraid, Heather, I know you're watching me and the way I'm running this too. But Milt dropped out. Let me bring him back. I hope I can get him back on. We're going to run out of time very shortly here.
I don't think so. They gave you unlimited.
Oh, they did?
That's what that notice was.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So until you get another notice, you're going to keep going.
Okay, Kathy, I haven't heard from you. I'd love you to be able to share something. And Kelly, your story and the way you met Kevin and how you guys clicked and what you've done to bring something so special to so many people in this country and what you're doing now, that's a story that I know that you've given me a lot of literature to read, but you could be writing the book on this. And I'm very proud to say that you first envisioned the possibility of having the life that you wanted to have in a class on the future at MT, when you took a course that I was offering about Alvin Toffler's Future Shock. and you saw that it would be possible.
I have it now.
I didn't hear somebody said something, but I missed it. But it's okay. And you took that, and you guys have built a life that is unique. And I would love you to be able to talk about it. And if you can tell us a little bit something about what you've been doing, I'd be very, very grateful.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, you know, what I learned from being at Maslow-Toffler was just the emphasis that there always was on relationships, you know, and that really put something in my heart, you know, to want to be in relationship with people and get to know people and, you know, really share our lives together, you know, it wasn't just a place to go to school, but it's to really, you know, develop those relationships. And after I graduated from there, I did meet Kevin, and then we met a group of people that were interested in that same thing, like basically wanting to live the essentials of life for yourself. And so we got together and moved out to Colorado. That was in 1979. We had one daughter at that point, Kevin and I. But what we wanted to do was just to be able to live with other people that were like-minded. And like I said, we realized, you know, that so many people, you know, you let other people grow your food for you, you let other people educate your children for you, you go to your hospitals and give birth. But people were losing, you know, that concept of just being able to participate in the essentials of life for yourself. So as a group, we wanted to be close together. We were spread out, some people in Long Island, some in northern New Jersey, southern New Jersey, and we wanted to be closer. So we said, let's just go where we can all live together, you know, and on a daily basis, care for one another and really live our lives together. So there was just something to that, you know, being close enough. You could make a meal for somebody when they needed something. We helped each other deliver our babies. We helped each other teach our children in school. I mean, everything of life was out in relationship, which I feel like did begin at Maslow-Toffler, the concept of, you know, being able to have my dad was an English teacher, and he would he was teaching junior high level, and I'd see him, he'd go to work and he'd come home and go to work and come home. And it just was very unfulfilling in that particular setting. It was like the kids didn't really want to learn. And he said, you know, I just feel like a glorified babysitter. I don't feel like I really have the relationship with the kids. They have the respect for me. It just seems so empty and hollow. And so he ended up just retiring early because he said there wasn't that depth of what he wanted to feel. So I guess that's kind of it in a nutshell, you know, that we wanted just to be able to live our lives with other people and experience and, you know, really have that depth. And so that's what we do. So we did start a community in Colorado, then we went down to Texas, and now we have communities all over the world, really, from Australia to New Zealand to Israel, just everywhere. Just little communities, you know, like not so big that you can't stay connected to one another. And it's just been a wonderful experience just to be able to live that as an extension of what really I felt like started at Maslow-Toffler.
Thank you, Kelly, for that explanation. And one of the things that you've left out of this story that I just want to make sure we mention is that you guys created a way of making a living that is certainly unique, because Kevin, her husband, and Kelly search throughout the country, mostly in the New England states, which is the oldest part of our country, and they reclaim and restore old barns, even if it means taking them apart and building them new and taking them to a different part of the country. They extend the life of that building for another couple of hundred years. And these are some buildings that have been around from the 16 and 1700s and the 1800s, and bringing them up into the present and pushing them into the future. And they have been so successful. As a matter of fact, you sent me something, Kelly, that said that it won't be long before you're going to be participating in a television show. I'm not sure how that's coming along, that network, but you'll have a feature of working with what the couple from also Texas that does Fixer Upper, I think is the name of their show. But you'll be working with them in demonstrating what you do with the barns, with the old barns. Very exciting, very, very exciting.
Yeah.
And
Well, what happened was originally it was a matter of taking down the barns, and people would want like an old historic structure, and they would want the barns made into homes. And I think we've done probably over 450 barns at this point, sent them all over the world. But then what happened, especially with the coronavirus and all the instability and riotings in the cities and stuff, we have many people calling and saying, you know, I don't just want the barn, but I kind of want the way of lifestyle that went with that when people live on farms. Like, I don't know how to grow my own food. I'm concerned about the way things are going. Can you tell me how to be sustainable? You know, how to live my own life and take the living of my life into my own hands. So we have people now calling us incredibly, just saying, help me, you know, show me what to do. Wow. How can I sustain myself? I'm worried. And my husband read a statistic. It said that 500,000 people are moving out of New York City. They're not just getting a second home in the country. They want to move completely. They want to go someplace where they can feel stable, where things are secure. But they're saying, like, well, sell me the barn, get me set up in a new home. But more than that, I want to know, like, how do you grow your food? How do you can? How do you sustain yourself? Because I don't know that I can trust in the system anymore. And I don't really want to live in a place where there's rioting going on. So what happened from that was Chip and Joanna Gaines, who have the Fixer Upper show, last April, they did a special show and they wanted to introduce, you know, it was a 4-hour special to tell people where they were going, you know, and that they were starting their own network. They used to be part of the DIY network, and now they were going to start Magnolia Network. And they were going to have 10 shows, and this was their network and their shows. Like, one was a gardening show, one was, there was different things. Gardening, cooking. So one of the 10 shows that they were going to have, they wanted to know if we could do that show, but not just say this is how you make a barn into a home, but this is how you can live sustainably. And so the process of filming that now, they come here. We have a whole craft village here where we have like a blacksmith shop, a woodworking shop, a weaving shop, a spinning shop. I mean, just on and on. And we teach many different classes to people in those things. So they're working their way through the different crafts and filming them and saying, you know, this is how you do these different things, and trying to get that across through the show. So it was supposed to air in January, but it got delayed, this coming January, but it got delayed a little bit because of the coronavirus has kind of made it hard logistically to work around things. But it does look like it'll be done, and we'll have it out in February. But when Joanna and Chip did that little clip on TV, just a 4-hour clip to tell people they said that there was 1.2 million people that watched it, and it was the most watched show ever in the history of the DIY network, which just kind of indicated to us that people are kind of really wanting to, you know, way out in a sense of taking, you know, their living of their lives into their own hands and not being, you know, just at the mercy of, you know, but, you know, so that's kind of what prompted them to ask us to do that. And it's coming along very well. And we're just hoping to just simply share with people, as you have been saying here, just to share things that might help them to, you know, increase the quality of their life and to give them more a sense of stability, but most of all, just that sense that you can love your fellow man and you can have those relationships and really have something of substance.
Kelly, I want to say God bless you for the story that you told us, because I think that all of the inspiration behind what we began in that school, behind Abraham Maslow, behind Alvin Toffler, behind George Land. Behind every single one of those people, they're all gone now. George Land was the most recent one to die, and Marianne Raywood from Hofstra University, who wrote about us extensively. They're all gone. And now that experience is in each one of your hands, and each one of you have become such powerful teachers to the people who listen to you and whose lives you touch. And I am inspired by the work that we are all doing to change the world. And I think we have done a great deal in that direction now. And people who have been working, like Joyce and Ken, who have been working with the people who came to their own lives a little bit too late and wish they could have learned it earlier. I still have students telling me that the course on death and dying that they got at MT was one of the most important courses that they had ever taken, because it opened their eyes to some things. But the course that they took on semantics that Milt taught, or on the course that they took on views of nature, when you talk about sustainability, this is the philosophy that we tried to propose back in the mid-70s that I think really took root with you guys. And I am so moved and so grateful for the work that you've done and the lives that you've lived. We're recording this. And if anyone has any objection to our sharing it, please let me know or let us know, and I will respect the wishes of anyone who wishes. Sometimes people, there is a person who is a psychotherapist who graduated from MT first, and then she went on to get her higher degrees. But she has been working with patients, and at some point came to us, and Milt and I, and asked if we could please see to it that her name and her information was expunged from any of the Maslow-Toffler information online, because I guess she was working with some clients who she was concerned might use that information against her in some way. And so we respected by making her disappear, even though she was a key player in the early years of MT. And at first we were mystified by why she might have, what did we do wrong? Why don't you want to be affiliated with us? But it wasn't that at all. But people's lives.
Yes, John,
yes.
If you remember, she met me in a restaurant and said to her partner, that's my mentor.
Yes.
Even after all this.
Yes.
Yes.
And you just happened to bump into her. You just bumped into her in the street in Manhattan. That's how you happened to meet after all those years.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I think, no disrespect, but I think you forgot some very important names to your list of names.
Go ahead.
And that John Sharon, Milt Seiler, Conrad Follansbee, Vita Mazer, Ken Moss, Joanna, Peter Murray, Joe Trusso. You forgot those names as well.
I didn't. Well, thank you for mentioning it. Thank you. I didn't.
Wait, John,
forget.
are you talking about dead people? No, don't throw yourself in that list.
No.
Hi, Kath.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm obviously not as technically savvy as I thought I was, because this is the first time I figured out how to share. So, hi.
Hi. Good to see you, Kath.
No, I just wanted to.
Has anyone heard from Peter Murray?
I don't know.
Milt is in touch with him on Facebook.
Do I have to move?
Yes, he basically takes care of a group that meets constantly on Facebook where he graduated from at the high school. And he's very active on that, but he's not as active with us. But he still respects us and is very nice about it.
I see. I remember him helping out with his girlfriend Laura.
He was our
By the way,
gym.
Bob Primavera was on with us no, Bob Primavera wasn't on. Bob Primavera talked to me this week, said he was coming on, but I
Right.
think there was a tragedy in his family. His nephew, who was a doctor, a Harvard-educated doctor, died suddenly, unexpectedly.
Oh, boy.
And so I think that they're probably doing some grieving right about now to get their head around the sudden loss of this 52-year-old man, this professional who
Heather, do you have a list of people who participated in this? I know we can go back and check it, but I keep that book that I've kept all the reunions. So I've been taking pictures on the screens of the people, and I'm going to put this year in the book for the, the reunions.
I have it, and if you go to on the bottom of your screen and click on participants, you can see the name of everybody there.
I'm just looking at my thing. I'm not very computer savvy at all, and mine says
I have
the
it,
boss.
don't worry.
No, it's not just that. I'm looking. Mine says the boss, which I'm so not, but it says
Yes.
the boss on there because the person that did my computer and set me up, he said, I'm going to name you the boss. And I was like, okay, I don't know what you're doing. So I didn't realize that that's what I come up as. So I just don't want anybody to think that I'm a boss because I'm really not.
Dad, check the participants. Make sure there's nobody else there waiting.
no one there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm going to put together something. I'm trying to take pictures of everybody that's been on this, and I'm going to put it in that year like I always do. So I just
Very
need the
good.
last names. I have most of the names. So we'll just
I
get
can
that
send
on
you
there.
some pictures and the names.
Okay. Yep, that's good. I've been taking pictures of everybody, as they come on.
I have to ask a question, may I?
Please.
Of course.
I'm going to question the boss. And there was a time in the corridor of the school that I'm guessing that you're the one that attacked me.
Did I hug you? Because I did that a
And you
lot.
put your arm around me, and we walked down the, I think, and if we didn't, we should have.
No, I'm sure we did because I
We
remember.
walked down the corridor in that school, and frankly, I reveled in the prospect of being close to one of my students without being sent to jail. It was, yeah.
One of the things that I found so enjoyable about being with all of you at MT was on those occasions when somebody like the educational director from Pilgrim State Hospital would lean over to Milt and I mentioned this last time we were together, and he said, I don't believe what I'm seeing. It was a community meeting, a forum. And he said, I don't believe what I'm seeing. You guys are doing a group process with over 100 people. He says, that can't be done. You can't do that.
You guys did it.
You're doing it. And when those moments, when people would say, it can't be done, but you're doing it, those would happen rather infrequently, but they gave me a thrill when they happened. Because as we readily explained to whoever was listening to this exchange, but we're not doing therapy. This is not therapy. This is a school. This is education. That's what we're, and therapy is education too late.
Yes.
So if you can get it early enough, it precludes any necessity to see a therapist.
I was in that program with Pilgrim State.
Were you?
Yes, I was. I was in that program. Yeah, it was a work-related program. I didn't get paid for it, but that was quite a memory that I have. It was wonderful. And you put that together with that person who was the in charge over there, right, at Pilgrim State Hospital.
That's right. That's right.
It was wonderful. Really nice.
We were blessed. All of us were blessed.
I kind of take classes again. I was at a different age. At my age now, I would love to take maybe not love, but I think it would be more interesting to take the death and dying class. And, all of it. I would love to do this again, but, can't go back in time, I guess, right?
Wouldn't you love it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I often think that, so
That's
I would love to go back there.
Just that, coming from an
reasons.
older person, it would be a completely different experience.
You have Zoom on your computer?
What?
I would love to take the class again, get some of the classes we took then, now at this age. I would get different things out of it.
The perspective would be totally different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would.
I also think it would be great to engage with students like us back then, but us engaging with them now.
I could hear that. We were 17 and 18 years old. I mean, I'm 62 years old now. It's really amazing to me.
How old are you?
This is something when I was 17 years old. I mean, you were a baby, Tori. I just what you did with 17 and 18-year-old children. We were young children. You guys were so beyond your time with what your vision was. It really is so incredible with what you did. And what the beauty of it is that you took 17 and 18-year-olds that many of them were so lost. They really were lost in the education system, and you gave them something that they would never have gotten anywhere else. They became the people they are today because of your vision and your, facilitating that you did. You were my mentor. You were all my mentors. So many of you that predicted how my life became my life. It's crazy the way you guys.
I used to say.
I think we learned to look for the alternative. Like I learned to look.
Yes.
There are alternatives to whatever the mainstream is, and it was good to know that there are other ways to look at things.
Sue.
Yeah.
Maiden name.
Who's Ruben? Wait, who's asking?
Rubenstein.
Rubenstein.
Knew that was you.
That's me.
Sue, how are you?
I'm okay. You look the same.
Thanks. Do you still play guitar?
I do.
I remember.
I do. Not with the people I used to play with, but with other people. Yeah, I still like to play guitar and sing.
And what did you teach?
I was a librarian at Suffolk Community College in Brentwood. I went back home to Brentwood for many years, and I taught research classes. And I tried to get involved with students in theater a little bit and music. There was a music club that I run. So yeah, it was fun to be back in my hometown, and I would tell people about MT and
Sue, please tell everybody that you're a published author.
Yes, she is.
I was always a freelance. I always liked writing. Obviously, when I walked in the building and I saw poetry, so I liked writing, and I did as I got older. And when my kids were very little, I did freelance writing, and I sort of ended up writing a book, which I didn't ever expect to, and still shocks me. So I did. Yep.
Good for you.
So it's been interesting.
That was not a fiction book. That was that you did a biography of a famous person during the 30s. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, he's actually not famous, and he's still not famous. But he was a person from the New Deal. Talk about alternatives, and those people in the New Deal were a lot like the ideals that we learned at MT. So I guess maybe I was always attracted to that. So yeah, it was about that. I also did a presentation. My last year of work, I did a presentation on the history of Brentwood, and I had to include MT, of course. And one of the things I thought was cool was that Maslow-Toffler MT, I don't know if you all remember that Brentwood was once called Modern Times, and it was an alternative community, right? Kenny's shaking his head.
It was.
So I thought, Modern Times, MT, Maslow-Toffler, MT. So I thought that was kind of interesting how, I don't know. So it's still a place, you know, and I had a lot of interesting students. I met a lot of interesting students there. So it was sort of kind of hard to leave, but kind of easy to leave too, because I was ready to retire, but that's beside the point. Anyway,
By the way,
want to say before I leave is that, Conrad, you probably don't remember, but we used to sing a song to you.
I was going to ask you to sing him the song. That's so funny you brought that up.
We love Conrad from Bye Bye Birdie.
Yes.
We love
Yeah.
you.
We used to sing.
We sang it at the reunion one year when you came to the reunion
That's
at
right.
the hotel.
Those were the
Terry got you
days,
to sing it with you.
Yeah.
I get in touch with Terry Willis a lot. You sang it to him with Terry. You used to
Well,
sing it to him with Terry.
I am more than grateful to have a song that has my name in it.
Yeah.
We love you, Conrad. Oh my gosh, but I was going to ask you to sing that song. It was
You just stay out of those corridors, Conrad.
Right.
If those corridors could speak. Uh-oh.
Sue, I want to tell you that was a marvelous biography. And for those who have not had an opportunity, you should read it. She was just great.
Thank you.
really beautiful piece of work.
Thanks.
So many talented people, you know, at that school.
And for those of you who may not know, Milt, who is the voracious reader that he has always been, you would think that losing your eyesight would put a crimp in his style, but it hasn't, because since this tragedy afflicted him, I think I would venture a guess that you've probably listened to about 30 or more books.
You know, last night I listened to the 50th one.
What?
50.
50.
50 books.
Audio books.
Wow, fantastic.
That's awesome. Are they available to you? You just purchase them like online and on you know, whatever you list, the audio books, right? That's what it is, and they're easily accessible to you, Mel?
That they are what?
Are they easily accessible to you, the books?
Well,
that you
not
have?
all of them, but most of them are now becoming available as it's become a good capitalist proposition.
Right.
Oh,
Make money.
sure.
So it gets
Absolutely.
better and better all the time. Yes, yes.
Goodbye, Michael.
Bye.
Bye. I love Oregon.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Good to see you all.
Yes,
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Michael Boss, is that Michael Ross or Michael Boss?
No, Michael
Michael
Ross.
Bloom.
Right.
Class
I
of
did,
77, Mike?
Yep, 77, and I co-facilitated some classes in 78 as well.
And
He
Michael
worked,
Ross.
he taught a class with George Waxman.
Yeah, we taught a class called Mind Games. It had to deal with alternate states. We're using hypnosis to teach people how to utilize and open up their minds. We were doing experiments with things like synesthesia, where we would hypnotize people and play music, and they could see the music.
Wow.
Without,
That's cool.
yeah, without using psychedelics. So that,
Yeah.
that was back in 77 and in 78. I also taught martial arts as an alternative phys ed class there as well. It was a tough class because I did it what was first period. It was pretty early in the morning, and everyone would get outside and they would smell Entenmann's, and everyone was jumping in class.
Right, that's where it was.
Yeah. You know, and I've done a lot of things since, but interestingly enough, we were talking about kind of that tie into education. I spent this week with Tony Robbins and this guy, Dean Graziosi.
Oh, yeah.
And, they've been talking to me, and they're like, dude, you got to get back into teaching again. Because I've lectured around the world as one of the many things that I've done. So they have created a format right now called Masterminds. And what we've kind of realized is that a lot of universities are really just become hedge funds with schools attached to them. And there's not very much venue or freedom like we had, right? So they're trying to bring that back in, and they're also trying to bring in the practicality of taking people that are outstanding in their fields and saying, hey, we want you to teach. And for some of those people that haven't taught, we're kind of helping to teach them to teach and giving them a venue. So I'm going to be setting up some masterminds. I think the first one I'm going to be doing is called a class called Reiki and the Cycles of Life. So that's one of the things I'm going to be doing. But I want to share a little bit of a story. A couple of, maybe a decade ago, or I don't know, it was quite a few years ago. I was in Brentwood, and my son said to me, hey, where was that school that you always talked about, right? I said, all right, come on, let's go. We're going to go. So I took him in my Suzuki, and I drove down Paradise Lane, and there was a blockade in the road.
Oh.
So we got out, and I'm adventurous, you know. So I said, come on, let's go through the blockade. So we wiggled our way through. They were pretty young at the time. And I got down to the end, and Maslow-Toffler was a giant mountain of bricks.
Oh.
It was completely demolished, and it was just a big pile of bricks.
They raised the building.
That was the third, that was the South Elementary.
Yes.
Yeah.
South Elementary.
I remember my sons turned to me and they said, like, wow, I guess they finally closed Maslow-Toffler. But I told them, I was like, no, Maslow-Toffler was never built with bricks. It was built with people.
That's right.
Very good.
Oh,
And
that's a good one.
Maslow-Toffler will always exist.
Yeah.
Right, you guys are a testament to that, everybody here.
You as
know.
well. You as well.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
human.
I was just thinking, when I do my mastermind, I have to get an empty logo and put it up.
I have my rock. We have all the things from
there.
the reunions. Heather, I saw who was wearing the shirt. I think it was Michael was wearing. You're wearing the shirt. Where are you? Did he leave? I think Michael Bloom was wearing the shirt. I saw the white shirt with the Maslow-Toffler on it.
Right, yeah, I got mine.
I had it on last week.
There we go. There we go.
We had blue one here.
Mine doesn't fit me anymore.
I was gonna put mine on, but it's too hot.
Well, I solved that problem. I had the flag tattooed on my leg.
Yes, you did. I have a picture of that flag.
Yeah.
I took it at one reunion. It's in the book.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. I have the flag itself. I have so many things from Maslow. As a matter of fact, that picture of Paradise Lane with our sign, the MT sign for the school, is on one of the pages in the book that I have, because I brought a lot of pictures into play.
Business is business.
Somebody answer that.
Yeah, that's my husband.
You gotta mute.
Mute.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I can mute myself. All right. Sorry, guys.
I don't think you realize that when we occupied that building, they suddenly became concerned somewhere about the dangers that the fuel tanks seem to provide from Entenmann's. They'd had an elementary school there for years, and when we moved in, it was necessary for them to establish communication between our front office and the bakery.
Yeah.
And I was obliged to check in on the red phone every day to make certain that nothing untoward had occurred.
My God.
But I thought it was some evidence of respect that they were very concerned to Maslow-Toffler, but had little concern for the elementary school kids who were in that same school.
Oh, wow.
Glad I didn't know
I
that.
had to get on the red phone every day and make certain that the connection was still in force.
My goodness.
Little bits and pieces of things that front office had to do.
Administrative positions, right?
Well, I want to say something to Kathy. Ellen is not. She was here up until a few minutes ago, and now she's walked away. But I wanted her to she could be witness to what I'm about to say. You gave me such a memorable experience. At your wedding, you invited me to your wedding, and Kathy was married and Paul were married at Ohika Castle. And this was a number of years ago, before it had become even more famous than it was then. And it was always famous as the home of one of the wealthiest financial people in the country, until it was taken over by somebody who had a dream of creating it into a place for banquets and for special occasions. But Kathy gave me the honor of having a first dance with her. And I remember at the time, your dad, who is gone now, I'm afraid we've lost him, but I was looking around, I was concerned because I thought, why don't you have your father dance with you? But you actually invited me to dance with you for your first dance. And I was so touched and honored, but I remember looking around to see where your dad was. I didn't want him to come up behind me or something, because I wanted him to have his time in the sun with you. But I recognize that you just gave me that honor, and it's a memory that I will take with me. Every time I go through that in my memory, I see the scene from Sidney Poitier and that famous movie that he did, To Serve with Love.
John, that's because that was the song. That was my honor to you, To Serve with Love, because you were my sir. And it wasn't in place of my dad, it was in addition.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Right. Not a dry eye.
That's right. There was not a dry eye in the house. That's
Not
right.
a dry eye in the house.
Yes.
I remember Ellen saying, John, get up, she's talking to you.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Hi,
true.
Ellen.
Vina, you are amazing. Tori, you were like a foot high. Unbelievable. You too. Unbelievable. And Vita, you look exactly the same. I mean, it's like Mrs. Dorian Gray. You haven't aged. And
I'm very old now,
yeah. What?
so I can't look exactly the same.
You do.
Look much different, I'm telling you.
You look pretty.
No.
You
I'm
know,
gonna be
another
72.
And
I'm gonna be 72 in January.
Wow.
The day I met you.
Another interesting story is our relationship with the custodians of the school.
Yes.
Oh,
They were
remember
very
Pat?
upset.
Pepe.
Yes, they were very upset one day when the boys' room or the men's room, whatever you want to call it, had graffiti. In a school like this, we should have graffiti. Well, guess how it was solved? Our students went in and painted over it, and never again did we have graffiti.
That's right.
And we won over the help that made us possible to exist.
They did a beautiful mural in there.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, I gotta jump in now, can I?
Yeah.
Okay. When you spoke about the clinical director at Pilgrim saying, this isn't possible, all I could hear in there was my experiences as a whole. There's judgment, like, what are you all doing there? You're sitting on the floor. You're not really learning the 3 R's and all that. But to those with their ears really open, what you hear in those comments is that tinge of jealousy. That person was jealous of you. And I don't know if you all have experienced it the way I have, but when, wait, I have to swipe around so I can make sure I see the names again. Oh, I see Steve. Mary's husband, Kevin?
Kevin is Kelly's husband.
Kelly.
Yes.
When Kelly's husband said, MT, but I heard a lot about it and I built this relationship with this woman. That's a testament to him, because I can remember a lot of times trying to explain to people that I thought were special what was special about it to me, and it was often met with a little bit of twinge of that jealousy, like a lack of understanding about how you could have a community that you appreciate, that accepted you for who you are and gave something to you that you could barely describe, and shaped you in such a way that I was so certain it didn't even matter if someone was going to argue with me about its benefit or not. I think it was my certainty that would put people off and make them say, well, I don't know, and want to fight about it. So if you're listening, that's a testament to you, that you took whatever her stories were about her experience at MT and you said, I can share in that, even though I didn't get it, but I get it. Pat Brennan, I remember you because I'm from 1980 as well. And when people used to say to me, oh my God, you're at that school where people only go there and they have no other choice. And I would say, what are you kidding? We have a tuition paying student. And that was you. And Joyce, for what you just said about wishing that you could maybe encounter people like us at that age now, I don't want to brag, but my daughter is 17 and she's like this little mini me. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think she'd like to know that that's how she is, but I feel like every day in talking to her, she hears me. She's been raised, or she's grown into the kind of person that if she had the opportunity, I'm pretty sure she would take it, because she can hear me when I speak, and her mind and her heart are open to.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, you can stick your
being a part of the community.
Kathy, if I can just shout out for Heather, because she has heard me for so many years say something like, boy, I wish you could have attended MT for 1 year, that your life would be different today, or you would be different today. And I've always worried, I hope she didn't hear in that anything that said, I'm dissatisfied with you the way you are, because I am absolutely, that's not it at all. And I'm so gratified that she offered to help with this process of Zooming people and bringing them together so that she could participate in our reunion virtually. If she couldn't do it in the flesh, she's doing it now, and she's doing it because she wanted to do it and wanted to participate.
I did do it. I came to so many classes and I sat with you guys and you raised me. So of course I did it.
Well, that is also true. That is also true.
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking how wonderful it was that Heather was listening and participating, and I could see her facial expression, and it looked as if she was really enjoying the experience. And I thought, how nice is that? I'm sure she's been listening to her dad for so many years.
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
And I hope so. Milt got kicked out. I don't know why Milt isn't here. But
I have to go, but I want to say goodbye to everybody, and it's really.
Me too.
I have to go as well.
All right. Why don't we say goodnight, folks?
Yes.
And we promise we'll do it again. It's not going to be.
Oh, I got it.
It's not going to be in a week or a
Oh, he's back.
We'll do it again. And I want to thank each and every one of you personally for coming.
And thank you for coordinating this.
There are so many people who said they were going to be able to be here and haven't been able to join us, because life has a way of getting in the way, doesn't it?
That's right. And Kenny, I'll talk to you this week, okay?
Yes, I look forward to that.
Thank
Okay.
you. It was so nice seeing you two. Kenny.
It was great to see all of you.
Be sure to look us up. We'd love to have you.
Kelly, Kevin, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you one and
Thank
all
you.
for each
Yes,
one of
thank
you.
you.
Look,
It's so
Conrad.
good to see everybody. Please, everybody stay safe and healthy, and maybe next time we have it, we'll get to see each other again.
You too. Stay
Yeah.
healthy.
Bye, everybody.
Stay healthy.
Be well, everybody.
Good to see
Take
you,
care.
Milt.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.
Good night, John. Good night, John. Good night, Milt. Good night,
Thank you,
Conrad.
Conrad.
Good night.
We love you,
Bless you all.
Yes.
Good night,
I'm
Conrad.
so pleased to see so many lovely, lovely people.
How was that egg, Claire?
It is a joy to see all of you folks. And
John, before you go,
Yeah.
Richie just wants to say hi. Put your face in the camera.
Hey there.
This is my husband. Talk about somebody having to
Hey,
listen
Rich.
about Maslow.
Hi, Richie. How are you? Good.
Having to hear about Maslow-Toffler, but we're going to be married 38 years in October.
I think that's the way you grabbed me those years ago.
Did you tell Richie? You gotta tell Richie about the corridor story.
I'll tell him.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, he's been hearing about Maslow for 38 years, and trust me, nothing
Yeah.
in his life ever prepared him for this.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. May you all be blessed.
Yes, you too, Milt. It's so good to see you.
Good to see
It
you.
looks like we're signing off, eh?
Yes.
Bye,
That's correct.
all.
Yep. Take
Good
care.
night.
Good night.
Talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do you do
I'm
this?
done.
People, sign off.